one last thing. I just wanted to add the donate button to Feeding America. So hopefully that is now there. Because as long as we're going to be doing some live tapping, I want to create an opportunity for folks to be able to do something else good in the world. And right now, there are a lot of people struggling to eat. Oh, wow. Okay. And there's the comments from people. Hello, hello, everybody. I will do my best to try to see comments from moment to moment, but for the most part, I am going to be, I'm doing this a little bit differently than some of the other things that I have done. This is how I've been doing it for a few months ago, after years of people saying, "Hey, you should do a small group mastermind and do it on Zoom," and I had been dragging my feet on that and finally started doing that, and it has been an awesome experience. Some of the folks here right now are in that group, and it has been a great way for me to deliver this work so that I get to work individually with folks, but they get to benefit from everybody else's work. So usually when I've done these Facebook lives and YouTube lives, it's just me on screen, and I'm looking at the comments, but doing more general rounds that hopefully will work for everybody else. And so I wanted to do today with this, where I'm going to work with a couple of folks online, and everybody else will be able to benefit from that. So what we are talking about here is tapping into your best self. Actually, before I go into that, what I'd like everyone to do is go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and hold it. And let it go. Now, just breathing comfortably with your eyes closed. Go ahead and feel your feet on the floor, or whatever part of you is connected to something. Allow yourself to feel that connection. Allow yourself to feel centered and grounded. Allowing yourself to be right here, right now, as present as possible, so as to receive maximum benefit from this hour or so. Really allowing yourself to be here to receive as much benefit as possible from the tapping we're doing. Just following your breath through your body. Just allow yourself to be aware of what's going on in there. Take a moment to notice what you're feeling physically and what you're feeling emotionally. And I want you to think about your ideal life. What do you really want to create? What would your ideal life look like? And who is the person that could create that? Think about the actions that you would be taking in this ideal life, and think about the actions that you need to take in order to create this ideal life. And who is the person that does that? And just thinking on a scale of 0 to 10, how much are you able to feel that you are that person right now? And don't judge yourself harshly if the number is low. Just allow yourself to be aware. Most of us tend to be in a state of thinking, it's some future version of myself that is going to create that. Just allow yourself to be aware of what you're feeling. Notice what thoughts, beliefs, or memories come up as to why you couldn't or shouldn't see yourself as that ideal person right now. Take a deep breath. Open your eyes. And let's just go ahead and start with some tapping right now. Even though I'm not always my best self, I choose to love and accept myself anyway. Even though I'm not always my best self, I choose to love and honor myself anyway. Even though I'm not always my best self, because sometimes I have resistance. Not because I'm bad or stupid, but because part of me says, if I were my best self, I might put myself in uncomfortable situations. I'd move myself out of my comfort zone. And I'm not ready to do that. Maybe next year. That's when I'll make all my dreams come true. And even though I resist being my best self, I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. And maybe anyone else involved in this. All this resistance to being my best self. All this resistance to being my best self. All this fear of being my best self. All this fear of what the consequences might be. And sure, there may be parts of me that want to argue that this is as good as it gets. There is no better version of me. I'm already doing the best I can. And it is true that I have been doing the best I can up until now, based on all my old programming, based on the circumstances. And I choose to be open to the possibility that if I weren't so afraid, I could find there's a lot more inside. I'm capable of much more. I have a lot more to offer. And even as I say that, it scares the bejeebers out of part of me. And I love and accept that part of me that resists being my best self in order to keep me safe. And I'm clearing up my misunderstandings about that so that I can feel more free and find out what I've really got under the hood so I can create the life that I really want. Clearing up these fears, clearing up the resistance, setting myself free to be my best self. Because I deserve that. In body, mind, and spirit. Take a deep breath. close your eyes and go ahead and see what's going on in there. So many of you may have heard me talk about what I call the Michelangelo principle. So Michelangelo said that the statues were already there, perfect inside the marble. And all he had to do was chip away what didn't belong to reveal the masterpiece inside. Or another way that he said it is, I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free. And that to me is what tapping is all about. And the best version of yourself, that masterpiece is already in there. And we're just using the tapping to chip away what doesn't belong in order to reveal that best self. And we do sometimes sabotage ourselves. And you may have heard the one quote that I'm really famous for: self-sabotage is simply misguided self-love. So when we do things and we go, oh, if I were my best self, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't be showing up late. I wouldn't be, always eating unhealthy foods. I wouldn't be doing this or that. And then we beat ourselves up. And here's the thing, the self-sabotage is brilliant because it's based on this belief that we need that to protect ourselves. And so we are trying to do an act of self-love by doing this thing that protects ourselves. And here's the funny thing, that even when we then beat ourselves up for that, that is also brilliant self-sabotage, because the more time I spend beating myself up, the less time I have to be my best self and do the things that I can do that create the changes that I want to create in the world. So it's allowing ourselves to say, okay, I appreciate myself for sabotaging myself, thinking that I needed that. And now I'm going to knock that off. I've said that if I do a TED Talk, it's going to be called, Your Self-Sabotage is Brilliant. Now knock it off. Because you have much more to offer. So let me, I am going to actually work with someone. So, hey, Barb, are you up for doing some tapping? Excellent. So go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi there.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks. A little chilly up here, but otherwise I'm good.
How are things in Eastern Canada?
Cold.
Cold.
Very cold and getting colder.
So it goes. So it goes. Oh, hey, thank you to everyone who's already donated to Feed in America. I just noticed that. So Barb, what comes up when you think about being your best self?
Being really slow at getting my practice going. I know I'm capable of doing it, and for the most part, I think I'm pretty good at it. Haven't had any issues so far. But I haven't really done anything to get the word out. It's anything that I've sold so far has been by word of mouth from previous clients.
Okay.
So I really don't advertise very much. Kind of nervous about getting that out there.
Yeah. And I don't advertise because?
Somebody might see it.
Which is basically the point of advertising.
Exactly. Okay, somebody I know might see it.
And what scares, actually, I'm going to invite everybody who's watching, go ahead and be tapping throughout this, our entire time together, because whenever we're tapping, we're down regulating stress, we're clearing out blocks. So just go ahead and take advantage of this time that we're together to be clearing stuff out as much as possible. So go ahead and close your eyes and say, I'm not ready to be seen.
I'm not ready to be seen.
And let that rattle around for a moment. And on a scale of 0 to 10, how strong does that feel?
A 9?
Okay, so it's pretty strong.
It's strong, yeah.
And what are you afraid of? And even if you're
Being
not clear on
judged.
the words, just allow yourself to be aware of whatever feelings might come up. Because sometimes
Yeah.
we're it's like, I'm not sure what it is, but I know that I've got this knot in my stomach or something like that.
I think it's being judged, and I do have the knot in my stomach.
Okay. All right. Side of the hand. Even though I'm afraid of being judged,
Even though I'm afraid of being judged,
I choose to love and accept myself.
I choose to love and accept myself.
Even though I'm afraid of being judged,
Even though I'm afraid of being judged,
I choose to love and honor myself.
I choose to love and honor myself.
Even though I'm afraid of being judged,
Even though I'm afraid of being judged.
and if I advertise
And if I advertise
and put myself out there,
and put myself out there,
more people will see me.
more people will see me.
And the more people who see me,
And the more people who see me,
the greater the odds that people will judge me.
the greater the odds that people will judge me.
So why on earth would I want to do that?
Why on earth would I want to do that?
Other than able to share my services and make money.
Other than to share my services and make money.
And even though I'm afraid of being judged,
And even though I'm afraid of being judged,
I choose to deeply and completely
I choose to deeply and completely
love, honor, and accept myself,
love, honor, and accept myself.
and maybe anyone else who's involved in this.
And maybe anyone else who's involved in this.
All this fear of being seen,
All this fear of being seen,
all this fear of being judged,
all this fear of being judged,
all this fear of being judged.
all this fear of being judged.
I really want to put myself out there
I really want to put myself out there
because I know that I have gifts and talents to share.
because I know that I have gifts and talents to share.
I know that when I'm being my best self,
I know that when I'm being my best self,
I'm being of as much service as I can
I'm being to as much service as I can
to as many people as possible.
to as many people as possible.
And there are people out there that I could be serving,
And there are people out there that I could be serving.
but they don't know about me yet.
They don't know about me yet.
And that's part of how I want to keep it.
And that is part of how I want to keep it.
Because while some of those people I can serve,
While some of those people I can serve,
others will just judge me.
others will just judge me.
So if I can stop myself from advertising,
If I can stop myself from advertising,
I can stop myself from being seen,
I can stop myself from being seen,
and I can stop myself from being judged.
and I can stop myself from being judged.
What color is the sky where I live?
What color is the sky where I live?
Because the fact is,
Because the fact is,
I'm going to be judged anyway,
I'm going to be judged anyway,
even if only one other person knows about my existence.
even if only one other person knows about my existence.
And even if that's someone who loves me,
And even if that's someone who loves me,
that person's going to judge me at times.
that person's going to judge me at times.
And God knows I judge myself.
God knows I judge myself.
So even if nobody knew about me,
So even if nobody knew about me,
there's already harsh criticism going on
there is already harsh criticism going on
from my own self-judgment.
from my own self-judgment.
So here I am,
So here I am,
limiting my success and my service
limiting my success and my service
because of this illusion that I'm going to resist judgment.
because of this illusion that I'm going to resist judgment.
And I choose to clear that.
I choose to clear that.
Judgment is going to happen.
Judgment is going to happen.
The question is,
The question is,
can I handle it?
can I handle it?
The answer is yes,
The answer is yes.
but I've had some doubts about that.
But I have had some doubts about that.
I've had some fears about that.
I've had some fears about that.
All this fear that I couldn't handle the judgment.
All this fear that I couldn't handle the judgment.
I choose to clear that fear.
I choose to clear that fear.
I choose to clear it at a cellular level.
I choose to clear it at a cellular level.
I choose to clear it all the way back through my past,
I choose to clear it all the way back through my past,
back through all those times in my life
back through all those times in my life
where I felt the pain of judgment
where I felt the pain of judgment
because I was under the misunderstanding
because I was under the misunderstanding
that what other people thought of me was my business.
that what other people thought of me was my business.
And it was my job to have them think I'm perfect.
And it was my job to have them think that I'm perfect.
That's not my job.
That's not my job.
And what other people think of me
What other people think of me
isn't really my business.
isn't really my business.
And most of their judgment,
And most of their judgment,
if not all of it,
if not all of it,
is based on their stuff.
is based on their stuff.
Because it wouldn't matter if I were perfect.
Because it wouldn't matter if I were perfect.
People would still judge me.
People will still judge me.
I can think of the people that I think are the best
I can think of the people that I think are the very best
in whatever field they're
in whatever field they're in.
and there's somebody who doesn't like them.
And there's someone either who doesn't like them.
I can think of my favorite musician,
I can think of my favorite musician.
and there are people who harshly judge that person.
And there are people who harshly judge that person.
Because people be crazy.
Those people be crazy.
And since I can't do anything about that,
And since I can't do anything about that,
I might as well do what I can do
I might as well do what I can do
and put myself out there
and put myself out there
to be of as much service as possible
to be as much service as possible
and to reap the rewards of that.
and to reap the rewards of that.
And I wonder if it's possible
I wonder if it's possible
that that might be what I'm afraid of.
that might be what I'm afraid of.
Part of me might say,
Part of me might say,
I know that other people's judgment is stupid,
I know that other people's judgment is stupid,
but if I didn't let that scare me,
but if I didn't let that scare me,
I would create some serious change in my life.
I would create some serious change in my life.
And I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
But if I say that it's the fear of other people's judgment,
But if I say it's the fear of other people's judgment,
everybody understands that.
everybody understands that.
Yeah, I totally get you.
Oh, I totally get you.
I understand why you're dragging your feet.
I understand why you're dragging your feet.
And they let me stay in my comfort zone.
And they let me stay in my comfort zone.
And I love and appreciate those parts of me
And I love and appreciate those parts of me
that are working so hard to keep me in my comfort zone.
that are working so hard to keep me in my comfort zone.
And I'm clearing the need to do so.
I'm clearing the need to do so.
Clearing away
Clearing away
what covers up my best self.
what covers up my best self.
Even though I know
Even though I know
that even at my very best,
that even at my very best,
my best self is going to get judged by some people.
my best self does get judged by some people.
And my best self can handle that.
My best self can handle that.
So I'm setting my best self free
So I'm setting my best self free
to live my best life possible
to live my best life possible
in body, mind, and spirit.
in body, mind, and spirit.
And take a deep breath. And say, I'm afraid of being judged.
I'm afraid of being judged.
If that was at a 9 before, what does that feel like right now?
It's barely there.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, if we're going to be afraid of being judged, then we're already screwed, because even if you're hanging out at home, someone's going to judge you for hanging out at home.
Exactly.
There's nothing that you can do to avoid judgment. So all it is recognizing, oh, I can handle that, you know?
And I can, and I have. So
Yeah.
Moving forward. Thank you.
Yeah. And the great thing is the more we clear our own judgment of ourselves, the less judgment shows up outside of ourselves, you know?
Mirroring the fear.
Yeah. Tapping on your face on the internet can bring about a lot of judgment. And yet I rarely get harsh comments these days. If ever, it's very, very rare that some judgment comes up as much as it's out there. So
Awesome.
you can all do that.
Very good.
Thank you, Barb.
Thank you.
So in terms of the whole getting ready thing, one of the most of the quotes we know from Shakespeare come from Hamlet, and one of them is, "The readiness is all." And so this is a little framework that came up with for, you've heard the expression ready, willing, and able. And feel free to keep tapping, by the way. So to me, that's ready, willing, and able, meaning that when we are both willing and able, that's when we're really ready for opportunity. And the opportunities for so many great things are out there. So when we're neither willing nor able, we're stuck, and we're like in that marble block. When we're able but unwilling, we're stubborn. When we are willing but unable, we're stumbling. But when we're ready, willing, and able, that's when we're stupendous. And so as we clear away the stuff that stops us from being either willing or able, that's when we really allow ourselves to be ready for the best that can be for us. And most of it, from my perspective, it's the willingness issue that comes up more than anything, because we have the fear, because we can create the ability if we have more willingness. More often than not, it's the willingness that limits our ability. So we'll stop ourselves from getting the training. We'll stop ourselves from doing the practice. We'll stop ourselves from doing all these different things that that will allow us to build our ability. And that lack of willingness just comes from fear. And most of those fears are based on misunderstandings. And so, oops, there we go. That's the the framework showing, using, of course, the Michelangelo's David, which I have all over my office because, as I said, it's that perfect metaphor for this work that we're doing. That best self is in there, that part of us that is ready, willing, and able. And as we through the fears that create the unwillingness and the fears that limit our ability, then we get to that best self. So, in order to cultivate even more of that, let us do a little more tapping here. So, Kevin, if you're willing and able to do some tapping.
Yep.
So
okay.
What's coming up?
I'm actually on the spot here. You don't really know.
Kevin's in my mastermind, and
yeah, so we did a tapping,
a fair amount of tapping earlier today.
We did a tapping between 5 and 7, so like an hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago. I think I've tapped through all my issues for today anyway. But I'm sure there's something in there.
Let's do this. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and I see that a lot of some of the things that are coming in the comments is the fear of change. So, for everyone, with your eyes closed, take a deep breath. And say, I'm afraid of change.
I'm afraid of change.
And just notice what goes on inside. Notice how your body might respond. Notice on a scale of 0 to 10 how much that fear might be. And allow yourself to be aware of the thoughts, the beliefs, the memories that might cause some resistance to change. And as someone said, the fear Christy said, the fear that my change will hurt others. And so often we limit ourselves from being our best self because we actually have this belief that my best self will cause pain to others, when in fact our best self brings about positive changes for others. They may not see it at the moment, and so we say, well, I have to wait until they're ready. So what's coming up, Kevin?
I think it came up there about, in terms of willing to be your best self, it comes down to the not establishing the practice. So you get into a routine of doing something, and you feel great, you feel all the benefits, and then obviously you get to a point then where you're like, hey, I'm good, and then you stop doing so. So I think that's probably something that I struggle with quite a lot. Normally I haven't had a 2-hour session with you first, so I've got my tapping quota in today,
Yeah.
but ordinarily I'd say it's probably lacking on other days.
Yeah, great. And we'll be able to clear stuff for the collective whole. So everyone, just allowing yourselves to be aware of what your fear of change is and where you feel that in your body. Side of the hand. Even though I have all this fear of change,
even though I have all this fear of change,
I choose to love and accept myself.
Choose to love and accept myself.
Even though I have all this fear of change,
even though I have all this fear of change,
I choose to love and honor myself.
Choose to love and honor myself.
Even though I have all this fear of change,
even though I have all this fear of change,
even though the changes I'm anticipating,
even though the changes I'm anticipating
look really good on paper,
look really good on paper,
I imagine they'd be awesome.
I imagine that they'd be awesome and I'd love them.
But another part of me imagines something worse.
But another part of me imagines something worse. And it's so much hard work.
Yeah. There's all kinds of downsides to change.
There's all kinds of downsides to change.
And that's why I stop myself.
And that's why I stop myself.
And even though I have all this resistance to change,
and even though I have all this resistance to change,
I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
And maybe anyone else involved. All this fear of change.
All this fear of change.
All this resistance to change.
All this resistance to change.
All this fear of change.
All this fear of change.
All this fear that I couldn't handle it.
All this fear that I just can't handle it.
Even though my life might be crappy at times.
Even though my life might be crappy at times.
It's my crap.
It's my crap.
I know how to deal with it.
I know how to deal with that.
It's familiar.
It's familiar to me.
So when I start doing things that can change my life.
So when I start doing things that can improve my life.
Part of me says. What the heck do you think you're doing?
The heck do you think you're doing?
You're messing with the status quo.
You're messing with the status quo.
And even though the status quo is not ideal.
And even though the status quo is not ideal.
It's familiar.
It's just familiar.
And I love and appreciate that part of me.
And I love and appreciate that part of me.
That wants to keep me safely in my comfort zone.
That wants to keep me safely in my comfort zone.
Thinking that I couldn't handle anything better.
Thinking that I just can't handle anything better.
And I choose to clear up that misunderstanding.
Choose to clear up that misunderstanding.
Clearing this fear of change.
Clearing this fear of change.
Because I have been handling change throughout my life.
Because I've been handling change throughout my life.
I am not the same person I was when I was born.
I'm not the same person I am when I was born.
I've made so many changes since then.
Made so many changes since then.
And I have handled all of them.
And I've handled every single one of them.
Maybe not always as gracefully as I would have liked.
Maybe not always as gracefully as I would have liked.
But I always come out on the other side.
But I always come out on the other side.
And I can make the most of these changes.
And I can make the most of these changes.
And I'm allowing myself to do so.
And I'm allowing myself to do so.
And I also choose to be open to the possibility.
And I also choose to be open to the possibility.
That other people could handle these changes too.
That other people could handle these changes too.
All this fear.
All this fear.
That other people couldn't handle my changes.
That other people couldn't handle my changes.
All this fear.
All this fear.
Of what my change might mean for other people.
Of what my change might mean for other people.
And I choose to be open to the possibility.
And I choose to be open to the possibility.
That my positive changes.
That my positive changes.
Benefit other people.
Benefit other people too.
Whatever's for my highest good.
Whatever's for my highest good.
will end up being for other people's highest good too.
Will end up being for other people's highest good too.
But maybe they won't see that.
But maybe they won't see that.
So I have to wait until they understand.
So I have to wait until they understand too.
I have to put myself on hold.
I have to put myself on hold
until other people are ready for my positive changes.
Until other people are ready for my positive changes.
And that sounds really noble of me.
It sounds really, really noble of me.
But it's not as noble as I think.
But it's not as noble as I think.
Because when I say that,
I'm
basically saying,
I
know I have a better self inside.
I know I have a better self inside.
But they don't.
But they don't.
And even though I could evolve, they can't.
They can't.
So I need to hold myself down for their sake.
So I need to hold myself back for their sake.
It's not very noble.
It's not very noble
to see them in that light. It's not because I'm bad or stupid.
It's not because I'm bad or stupid.
It's just old programming.
It's just old programming.
And I choose to clear that.
I choose to clear that out.
I choose to see the best self in myself.
I choose to see the best self in myself.
I choose to see it in other people.
I choose to see it in other people too.
And I'm going to help them find that.
I'm going to help others to find that too.
And I inspire them to do so.
And I inspire them to do so.
By allowing myself to make positive changes.
By allowing myself to make positive changes.
And I'm clearing the fears and doubts.
And I'm clearing the fears and doubts.
I'm allowing myself to have more confidence in myself.
I'm allowing myself to have more confidence in myself.
Allowing myself to remember.
I'm allowing myself to remember.
That I have what it takes.
That I do have what it takes.
I have what it takes.
I have what it takes.
And even though some changes have been tough in the past.
And even though some changes have been tough in the past.
I have handled them all.
I have handled them all and learned from them.
Yeah. Everything is a win-win situation.
Everything is a win-win situation.
I either get the result I'm looking for.
Or I get
a lesson in how to do it better.
Or I get a lesson in how to do it better.
So I'm either winning. Or I'm learning and growing. And if I allow myself to learn and grow.
And if I do allow myself to learn and grow.
Then that's a win too.
And that's a win too.
So I'm always winning.
I'm always winning.
And I'm setting myself free to know that. Clearing these fears and doubts.
I'm clearing out all these fears and doubts.
Giving myself permission to move forward. In body, mind, and spirit.
In body, mind, and spirit.
And take a deep breath. Everyone go ahead and close your eyes and allow yourself to say, I'm afraid of change.
I'm afraid of change.
And just notice what that feels like. See if there's any more opening there. And again, when we're tapping, we're often peeling the layers of the onion. So you may also just have more clarity of, oh, this is what I'm afraid of will happen if I make this change and things like that.
It feels a lot better. I reckon if I did 3 hours tapping a day, then there'd be no fears anywhere. Every day.
People are always asking, is it too much to do like 15 minutes? Is it too much to do half an hour? I'm like, man, I've done workshops where we have tapped from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. or even later. And it can be exhausting, but we just keep peeling layers of the onion and it goes deeper and deeper. So, there isn't, I haven't found an amount of tapping that is too much. As long as you're tapping gently, you'd be in danger if you tap too hard, you get to the end of the day and go, man, my face hurts. But hopefully you're not tapping that hard. So allowing yourself to be aware of, allowing yourself permission to just keep clearing stuff if you have the time. And making the time to allow that to happen.
Cheers, Brad. Cool. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. So, let me see. What was the next thing I was gonna? So as I said, yeah, I did start doing this mastermind program, and some of these folks are involved in that. And call it Tap into Success. So it is a small group. It's exactly like this, where we for each week we work together, and it's a 3-month program. So 12 weeks. They're tapping every week. They're 2-hour calls, and it's a maximum of 8 members, so that I have a chance to work individually with each person. And so whatever's coming up that week in terms of what each person is looking to achieve and what gets in the way. But it's not just that time for yourself, because it's been really cool how every tapping round that we do, each time I'm working with one person, every other person in the group is benefiting from that. So you're getting 2 hours of tapping, and you bring up your own stuff. And one of the great things is we often stop ourselves from seeing our own stuff. And so having other people show up as surrogates, and they bring up things that we're not even aware of that we need to tap on. And it's been so cool every week, as each person has been saying, oh my goodness, I so needed to hear that, and I didn't know that for myself. So I've been enjoying it so much, and I'm just so excited with how profound this work is, that I'm going to be doing several masterminds. I'm opening up at different times. So this started in January through March. I'm going to be continuing the 2 groups that I have right now, which are Tuesdays at noon Pacific and Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific. Then I'm opening up a 3rd one, which will be Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific, so that folks in Australia can join me, because this first go round, I just didn't, I was experimenting, seeing, how will it go doing this small group work. And, but I didn't have an option for folks down under and in certain other places. So we're going to be doing that. I'm also going to be doing one that's a year long. So instead of every week, it'll be once a month. So it'll still be 12 months or 12 sessions, but once a month for folks who for that option. And just wanted to share, even though I've got some of the folks here online, I've had a couple of folks have said some lovely things.
I'm Sharon Smith, creator of eggpainplan.com. And I wanted to tell you about my recent experience in Brad's very first small mastermind. It was great. But I gotta tell you, when we were first getting started, I kind of had my doubts. We were such a diverse group that I just wasn't really sure how well it was going to work. But Brad is truly masterful. He's kind, he's patient, he's always on target. He's probably also thrifty, cheerful, and loyal too, but hey, that's another video. What I found was that every single round, no matter who it was for or what it was about, really resonated with me at a deep level. And everybody in the group reported a similar experience. And we bonded more as we went through the program. It was really cool. And as a matter of fact, my new work, Power Intentions, was born during the course of this group, and I believe as a direct result of the work that we all did in there together. And I'm profoundly grateful to Brad and the whole group for this. It's a cool thing. So if you are considering saying yes to this, you definitely want to say yes to it. You want to do this. I think you're going to be really glad that you did.
Thank you, Sharon. I know that Sharon was watching the live, and so yeah. So I'm gonna let's do one more quick round here, and Jen Marie, are you could you unmute?
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
It's great to see your face. That's one of the things I love about doing the Zoom, is because we've been tapping in my other group. I have another group also called the Magnificent Tappers Club, which I've been doing for a while, and Jen Marie is a member of that, and it's fun to see.
I have
So,
seen you a few times at the Australian seminars, but yes.
oh, that's right. Well, there's that too. Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that. My favorite thing to do is the live in-person workshops and getting to travel, and
Mm.
that's been the biggest
Mm.
challenge for me this year. Is I've only been able to do one live event back in February.
Definitely. Mm.
So, so what comes up for you in terms of resistance to or fear of being your best self?
So, of course, it's no surprise that something that was coming up yesterday and I got clarity, a little bit more clarity on this morning, is basically all about this, about how I've been sabotaging myself to make an old program inside me true. And I've been doing it I do it in all just sorts of different ways, but it still ends up being true, which is that I can't get what I want. And so I used to be very impulsive and make really fast decisions. This is when I was younger. And then I would kind of beat myself up about that because I would think, oh, I made that decision too fast. It could have been better. If I'd slowed down and taken my time, I might have gotten something better. So self-criticism. And so now I think I've criticized myself to the point where I dither. So I don't make the decisions. I dither over decisions. And then I criticize myself when I don't get the thing, I don't go for it. So it's like, of course I don't get what I want because I'm not actually going for it. And then I start the self-criticism cycle again. So I'm just making that statement perfectly true. And it's suddenly up in my consciousness just in the last 48 hours. And I would love to clear that out more.
So close your eyes, and everybody do this as well. And looking at those places where you stop yourself, where you sabotage your forward movement. And if I finish this sentence, if I didn't dither, what are you afraid would happen?
I think I'm probably afraid I'd go back into that impulsivity, that making decisions too fast then without not a considered decision. So I'd swing weight back the other way. I think that's what I'm afraid of.
Say, I can't trust myself to move forward.
Can't trust myself to move forward.
Scale is 0 to 10. How true does that feel?
It's a 7 or an 8.
All right. Let's do something about that, shall we? And for everyone else watching who likewise stops themselves. Even though I can't trust myself to move forward.
Even though I can't trust myself to move forward.
I choose to love and accept myself anyway.
I choose to love and accept myself anyway.
Even though I'm afraid I can't trust myself to move forward.
Even though I'm afraid I can't trust myself to move forward.
I choose to love and honor myself anyway.
I choose to love and honor myself anyway.
Even though I'm afraid I can't trust myself to move forward.
Even though I'm afraid I can't trust myself to move forward.
Because if I don't dither, I'll be too impulsive.
I'll be too impulsive.
And I'll screw everything up.
And I'll screw everything up.
And I'll deal with all the problems I've had to deal with in the past.
And I'll deal with all the problems I've had to deal with in the past.
And I don't want to do that anymore.
I don't want to do that anymore.
But I also don't want to be stuck.
But I also don't want to be stuck.
And even though I'm afraid, I can't trust myself.
And even though I'm afraid, I can't trust myself.
I choose to deeply and completely.
I choose to deeply and completely.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
And maybe anyone else involved.
And maybe anyone else involved.
All this belief that I can't trust myself.
All this belief that I can't trust myself.
I can't trust myself to take action.
I can't trust myself to take action.
I can't trust myself to move forward.
I can't trust myself to move forward.
Because when I give myself any leeway, I jump the gun.
I'm overly impulsive.
And then I screw up.
And then I screw up.
Not all the time,
Not all the time,
but those are the times that I remember.
but those are the times that I remember.
I could give myself permission to see
I could give myself permission to see
that sometimes when I've taken action,
that sometimes when I've taken action,
I've experienced some really awesome things,
I've experienced some really awesome things,
which is why I want to take action now.
which is why I want to take action now.
Because I know that there are awesome things I could be creating
Because I know there are awesome things that I could be creating
and awesome things I could be experiencing.
and awesome things that I could be experiencing.
But then part of me says,
But then part of me says,
there's the risk of doing it wrong
there's the risk of doing it wrong
and the pain that might come from that.
and the pain that might come from that. Or
And
there could
then
be
I
something better.
Pardon me?
There could be something better.
What if I choose this
What if I choose this
and later find out there was something better?
and later find out there was something better?
So I've got this brilliant plan.
I've got this brilliant plan.
I'm just going to bide my time
I'm just going to bide my time,
and not choose anything
not choose anything
until I've seen all the possible options.
till I've seen all the possible options.
It's like going to a restaurant
It's like going to a restaurant
and waiting to decide what I'm going to have for dinner.
and waiting to decide what I'm going to have for dinner.
Because what if I order the fish
Because what if I order the fish
and then I see them serving the chicken to somebody else?
and then I see them serving the chicken to somebody else?
And then I have to beat myself up
Then I have to beat myself up
because that looks so much more delicious.
because that looks so much more delicious.
So I'm just going to sit here and wait
So I'm just going to sit here and wait
until I've seen everything that's on the menu.
until I've seen everything that's on the menu.
And I'm sure which one's going to be best for me.
And I'm sure which one's going to be best for me.
Meanwhile, I'm starving.
Meanwhile, I'm starving.
And eventually the restaurant's going to close for the night.
And eventually the restaurant's going to close for the night.
And they're going to say, we're sorry you didn't decide on something,
And they're going to say, I'm sorry you didn't decide on something.
but now you got to go
And now you got to go.
because the clock is ticking.
Because the clock is ticking.
And here's the other thing.
And here's the other thing.
Even if I choose the fish,
Even if I choose the fish,
I can choose the chicken tomorrow.
I can choose the chicken tomorrow.
Or I might find
Or I might find
the fish was absolutely the right choice.
the fish was absolutely the right choice.
So when I make a choice,
So when I make a choice,
it's a win-win decision.
it's a win-win decision.
I either get what's right for me,
I either get what's right for me,
or I get more clear about what it is that I want.
or I get more clear about what it is I want.
I don't get that if I just sit and wait.
I don't get that if I just sit and wait.
I love and appreciate those parts of me
I love and appreciate those parts of me
that have been trying to play it safe.
that have been trying to play it safe.
They're trying to protect me,
They're trying to protect me,
but I'm missing out.
but I'm missing out.
And I can handle the consequences.
And I can handle the consequences.
And even if I do get too impulsive,
And even if I do get too impulsive,
I will handle that
I'll handle that too.
because I always have,
Because I always have.
even though it didn't always work out perfectly.
Even though it didn't always work out perfectly,
I still figured it out
I still figured it out
because I'm still here.
because I'm still here.
I still have opportunities.
Still have opportunities.
So what am I so darn afraid of?
What am I so darn afraid of?
I'm moving through this fear,
I'm moving through this fear,
clearing this fear of taking action,
clearing this fear of taking action,
clearing this fear of trusting myself,
clearing this fear of trusting myself,
all this fear that I can't trust myself to make the right decision.
all this fear that I can't trust myself to make the right decision.
If we always needed to know
If we always needed to know
that we were always going to make the right decision,
that we were always going to make the right decision,
nobody would do anything.
nobody would do anything.
Because in the history of this world,
Because in the history of this world,
no one has always made the best choice possible.
no one has always made the best choice possible.
Not every time.
Not every time.
So I'm not going to wait for that.
So I'm not going to wait for that.
I'm not going to wait until I know
I'm not going to wait until I know
that I am the first person in history
that I am the first person in history
who knows they'll always make the perfect choice.
who knows that I'll always make the perfect choice.
And I love and forgive myself
And I love and forgive myself
for thinking that I could work that plan,
for thinking that I could work that plan.
and I'm setting myself free.
And I'm setting myself free.
I can handle this,
I can handle this.
and I'll get better and better at it.
And I'll get better and better at it.
And I'm not the same person I used to be.
Oh, I'm so not the same person I used to be.
So why do I expect I would still do it the same way?
So why do I expect that I would still do it the same way?
I couldn't even make the same choice I used to make.
I couldn't even make the same choices I used to make.
So it's safe to trust myself.
So it's safe to trust myself.
And back when I was making some of those choices,
And back when I was making some of those choices,
I didn't know about tapping.
I didn't know about tapping.
So the tapping can help me make better choices
So the tapping can help me make better choices
and help me deal with the choices I make.
and help me deal with the choices I make.
So I have more resources.
So I have more resources.
So I choose to feel safer moving forward.
So I choose to feel safer moving forward.
It's safe to move 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 forward.
And I'm allowing myself to know that.
And I'm allowing myself to know that.
And I'm allowing myself to trust that
And I'm allowing myself to trust that.
in body, mind, and spirit.
In body, mind, and spirit.
And take a deep breath. And say, hey everyone, it's not safe to trust myself.
It's not safe to trust myself.
And if that was at a 9 or so before,
It's about an 8 before. It's not safe to trust myself. 3?
brought it down by more than half.
Yeah.
That could give you a little more freedom to create some more cool things in your life.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome.
Mm-mm. I'm just going to have to do a bit more tapping on that self-criticism aspect.
Yeah. And as you, and again, everyone keep tapping here, recognizing that self-criticism is one of the ways we keep ourselves safely in our comfort zone. You know, oh, I know I can handle it, but I'll have to beat myself up because if I don't, then I'll create that change and continuing to clear the fear. It's like, yeah, but I could handle a change. Oh, well, then I don't need to be so critical of myself. But what if I'm not perfect? Well, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
loving and appreciating that part of you that is trying to keep you safe. And yeah, we just keep stripping away the layers of that.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you, Jean Marie. So again, that's, as we continue to peel away the layers of the onion and seeing what those fears and doubts are and see the misunderstandings behind them and get to the roots of those things, we create this opening to be our best self and to create the best life. And the reason I do this work, it's yes, so that you can feel better and do better and live better and have the best life, but also so that you can do what you can do to make the world a better place. I keep coming up with different job titles, and one of the ones I came up with is I'm a gift unwrapper because everybody is a gift. You are God's gift to the world, and it's wrapped up, under all that marble. Under all that marble is this gift, this magnificent masterpiece, and so I am so grateful and humbled for the opportunity to share this work. Obviously through YouTube, and the videos are out there, and you can probably see down there, there's the little shop of different things, and I have the t-shirts and sweatshirts that say there's a tap for that. Whatever, when you're thinking about what stops you from living your best life, there's a tap for that. And it's hopefully you've experienced through this that it's even more profound to tap on those issues especially when I can tap with you individually. And I get to do that to a certain extent in the Magnificent Tappers Club, and even more profoundly in the Tap into Success Mastermind. So if you really want to step into your best self even more in 2021, I hope that you'll consider joining me for that. I know, and stick around if you can stick around for the here with me on the live call. There's a little more. There's a gift I'm going to offer, and I'm going to close out with a guided imagery, which I always like to do in my sessions. But if you'll indulge me for one more moment, for those of you who are considering the mastermind, which you can find at tapwithbrad.com in the store, but also if you go to tapwithbrad.com/mastermind, you'll see it. And I know some people are going to say, okay, what is the investment for that? So yeah, well, it's supposed to come up and say, well, the mastermind program, the full price is $4,500 for the 3 months. But if you, but there is, I always do early bird specials. So there is an early bird special right now until the end of Monday, which is a considerable discount, $29.70. The price will go up on Tuesday. Again, for those of you on the live call, stick around because that's not all there is. But and there are payment options if that's like, I don't have that right now. So the stop share. I never work with slides. It's always just me working with people. We all have things to learn, and even though I didn't do it perfectly, I criticize myself, because better that I'm out here sharing what I do and trying to make a difference rather than saying, I'm going to wait until I know I can do it perfectly. So, sometimes I just screw these things up on purpose so that you can see, oh, well, Brad's out there sharing himself and he's screwing up and doing it imperfectly. So, and he seems to be doing okay. And I am doing okay. So, so I encourage you to keep tapping through that self-criticism and allowing yourself to do that. So, yeah. So that's the. So again, that's it. I'm going to put that in the chat. I can't do that at the moment. So yeah, it's tapwithbrad.com/mastermind, and you can find information about that. You can also find, if that's not the right move for you, you can find out also about the Magnificent Tap. Love my mag tappers. I've been doing mag tap for years now, and that has been one of my favorite. That has always been one of my favorite things to do, to on a weekly basis get together with folks and tap. So these are two great options to be able to work with me live and clear away those things that stop you from living your best life possible, from feeling better, doing better, living better. And as I've said, I started out as a hypnotherapist, and I still love to do guided imageries. And I always love to end a call with a guided imagery. So, yes, ending the call. But again, for those of you on the live call, stick with me afterwards. So go ahead and get yourselves comfortable. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and hold it. And let it go. Another deep breath in and hold it. And let it go. A third deep breath in and hold it. And let it go. Now just breathing comfortably with your eyes closed. Breathing comfortably, and just imagine that with each breath you take in, you breathe in relaxation and positive energy. Go ahead and imagine a healing light of whatever color you like surrounding your body, so that with each breath you take in, your lungs comfortably draw in that healing light, allowing it to flow through every muscle, nerve, fiber, tissue, cell, and atom of your body. Imagine a healing shower flowing down crystal clear water that's a perfect temperature as it flows over the top of your head, soothing and relaxing your scalp, washing away fear, doubt, anxiety, washing away anger, sadness, guilt, shame, washing away pain, frustration, disappointment, embarrassment, washing these away to reveal the light that you truly are. Allowing more and more of that light to be revealed as that healing shower flows over your forehead, relaxing the muscles in your face. Flowing down over the back of your head, your neck, your shoulders, washing away tension, leaving your shoulders calm, comfortable, and relaxed. Healing shower flowing down your arms, all the way down over your fingertips, down over your chest and your stomach, soothing and relaxing, healing and cleansing. And allowing yourself to remain comfortably in whatever position you choose, allow that healing shower to flow down over your upper and lower back. And as your torso relaxes, your internal organs comfortably do whatever they need to do to achieve and maintain your optimal level of health and well-being in body, mind, and spirit. As that healing shower continues down over your body, down over your hips and your thighs, over your knees, down your lower legs, through your ankles, into your feet. And finally, that relaxation flows over your toes as you allow yourself to relax twice as much, going at least twice as deep with each number as I count backwards. 5, drifting down to 4, floating down to 3, 2, 1, and 0 is deep sleep. Deeper, deeper. Remembering that each and every time you hear me say the words deep sleep with your permission, and only with your permission, you allow yourself to return to this depth, or even deeper, quickly, soundly, deeply, and the physical body relaxes. And with that relaxation comes a wonderful sense of calm well-being of body and mind, deeper, deeper. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0 is deep sleep. And in this calm, comfortable state of mind and body, go ahead and imagine yourself in some really beautiful place. Maybe one of the most beautiful places you've ever been. Allowing yourself to know that since you have experienced this beauty, this magnificence, this abundance, that's pretty good evidence that as far as the universe is concerned, you are worthy and deserving of this. There is all kinds of evidence that you are worthy and deserving of the best this world has to offer. And one of the simple ways to remember that is that right now, as you're breathing, every time you inhale, the universe delivers oxygen. There's always more than enough. And you allowing yourself to breathe in the oxygen doesn't take away from anyone else. There's more than enough for everyone. And you can breathe even more deeply, and the universe delivers all that oxygen to you. It's okay to ask for more, and you're worthy and deserving of the best this world has to offer. Allowing yourself to remember that. Giving yourself permission to be your best self. That best self that can create the life you really want. That best self that can do so much good for others. Allowing yourself to appreciate those parts of you that haven't felt ready. And allowing yourself to recognize that you can do this. It's safe to be willing. It's safe to be able. It is safe for you to be ready, willing, and able to be your best self and to live your best life. And allow yourself to feel more and more confidence growing in this as we go even deeper now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 0 is deep sleep. In a moment, I'm going to count you back out from 0 up to 5. 5 will be wide awake, alert, focused, and energetic, feeling much better than before, feeling much more confident in yourself, much more aware that there's an even better version of yourself inside. Allowing yourself to reveal more and more of that magnificence for the highest good of all concerned. Tonight, when you choose to go to sleep, don't be surprised when you fall asleep quickly, soundly, deeply, and sleep very well through the night. During the night, you'll dream. The more you dream, the stronger you become. I'm going to ask your unconscious mind to allow at least one of your dreams to be a very healing dream. Continuing this healing process in body, mind, and spirit so that in the morning, at the time you've chosen to wake up, you wake up easily, feeling refreshed, energetic, and ready to start the day again, powerfully moving forward into that ever more joyful experience of an ever greater abundance of health, wealth, happiness, and love, which are your birthright and which benefit others. Now I go back down to 0, which is always deep sleep, allowing your mind, body, and spirit to digest all these positive thoughts and images, taking them in at a very deep level, so that these positive changes occur easily, effortlessly, and naturally. Coming up to 1, feeling physically relaxed. 2, feeling emotionally calm and confident. 3, health and well-being, enthusiasm, love, joy, and gratitude flowing through every muscle, nerve, fiber, tissue, cell, and atom of your body. 4, becoming more and more alert and aware of your surroundings. And 5 is eyes open, wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake, and welcome back. And thank you so much for joining me for this call. Thank you so much for allowing yourself to tap into your best self, to reveal that best version of yourself, because it brings about so many great things for you, but it also makes a huge difference for so many other people. And I hope that you might consider joining me in one of my groups, either the Tap Into Success Mastermind or the Magnificent Tappers Club, that I can help you more directly to clear away what covers up that masterpiece and share more of yourself with the world. Thank you.